What's up guys, I thought I'd do a review of my new phone, the Moto Z Play. So let's get the boring stuff out of the way first, the specs of the phone. So it comes with Android 6.0.1 operating system. The processor is the Snapdragon 625 octa-core, which is clocked at 2.05 gigahertz. The GPU is the Adreno 506, clocked at 650 megahertz. The screen is 5.5 inches and it is a 19 by 1080 AMOLED display. It's got 3 gigabytes of RAM, and the storage that it comes with is either 32 gigabytes or 64 gigabytes depending on the model that you go with, and then it has up to 2 terabytes upgradable capacity with micro SD cards. Yes, I know, there is no 2 terabyte micro SD card available yet, but it's coming. The cameras are a 16 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front camera, and the connectivity is USB-C for data transfer and charging, and then a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. In September of 2016, Droid released 3 phones made by Motorola. They were the Moto Z, the Moto Z Play, and the Moto Z Force. The one I picked up was the Moto Z Play. Now each of them are different, and they're all varying in different prices, and this one is the cheapest. And I'll tell you why I bought this one in a minute, but let's go over what's different about each of them. So the Moto Z was the original. It featured a Type-C USB connector, and what was awesome about all 3 phones is that they had modularity, or they were modular basically. You could get different types of backs for them. As you can see, there's dots on the back of this phone. I'll show you that there. That you can connect different things to. For instance, if you needed a better camera, you can connect a better camera, you can connect a speaker, a bigger battery, a projector, a bunch of different things, even designer backs, which here's one of the designer backs that I have. It's got a wooden back to it, and it looks pretty nice. Anyway, the Moto Z Force is the strongest and most expensive of the 3. It's got the highest build quality, and with that it is the most expensive. The Moto Z is the mid-tier price range. It's got the least amount of battery, it's got better build quality, and more RAM. Now, my phone has 3 gigs of RAM. The Moto Z and the Moto Z Force have 4. And so that's one of the places that they cut costs to make this one $399, which is very cheap for a high-end smartphone, because this is still considered a high-end smartphone. Anyway, the reason I bought the Moto Z Play is something that it had which was different than all of the other 2. As an audio person, I love to plug in my high-end headphones, and the Moto Z and the Moto Z Force, you cannot do that with. This one has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which is awesome, and I still think we need, because I don't think Bluetooth is there yet as far as headphone quality and signal quality to send to the headphones so that you hear your audio really nice. And yeah, so that's why I bought the Moto Z Play versus the Moto Z or the Moto Z Force. Now with that, I put a case on it, just because it's made out of mainly plastic with a lot of metals. It's not total, like, awesome build quality, but it is solid. Now, one place they also did cut costs to save on this phone so it's cheaper is they cut down on screen. What's different between this one and the Moto Z and the Moto Z Force in screen is this one is 1920 by 1080, where the other 2 are 1440p. Now let's talk about what I like about this phone and what I do not like about this phone. What I love about this phone is a couple of different things. The camera is awesome, especially the rear camera. The rear camera takes high quality photos and high quality videos. You can video at 1080p at 60 frames a second, you can video at 4K for 30 frames a second, and 720p up to 120 frames a second. So if you wanted to do 720p recordings in slow-mo, you could do that, which is awesome. The next thing I love on it is the battery life. This is the highest battery life of the 3 phones that Droid put out between the Moto Z and the Moto Z Force. The Moto Z only had 3400 milliamp hour battery. The Moto Z Force only had 3500. Now this one's just a little bit higher at 3510 milliamp hour battery. This thing is awesome. I can let this go for almost 3 days and not having to charge it. You constantly using it, texting, calling, using social media, doing some gaming on it, practicing music on it with the iReal Pro app, which I love. And yeah, it still doesn't die. It's at 48%, and I didn't charge it that long last night, and it only went up to about 50% last night, which is crazy. crazy long battery. And what's nifty is you can use the Moto Z mods to get a larger battery for it, which is awesome. The next thing I love about it is the multitasking and snappiness of it. Since they all have an 8-core processor clocked at 2.05 gigahertz, it is really fast. It has so much power that I can use, so much processing power that I can use, and so everything that you're doing is very snappy, it's very quick, it's not going to be laggy, you're not going to see drops in performance really quickly. It's awesome. In the end, this is an awesome phone. Yeah, it seems like there's more downsides than there are upsides for it, but it's an awesome phone. Those downsides are very minor. If you have stuff like a good camera, a good long battery life, a great processor so that makes it snappy, and multitasking is very easy, that makes it a great phone. What more can you ask for? And it's modular. So if you're missing something like you need more battery, or if you need like a better camera, or if you want a speaker that doesn't have to be something separate, but it attaches to the phone, you can get that for this phone. It's modular. That concept is awesome. I think we need to push that into the future with phones, and that a modular phone is best for everybody. Anyway, who I recommend this for is for those who are kind of tighter on a budget, because this is a budget-oriented high-end phone. It sits at about $399. You can get it at Verizon for about $17 a month. And so that's super cheap, super affordable for a high-end smartphone. And yeah. Anyway, I encourage you to get subscribed. Thanks for checking out this video. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and always contact me if you want to see specific or more interesting content that you think would be cool to do. And I will see you in the next one. Have a great one.